Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel Life with Lois. I'm so glad you could join me today. For those who don't know me, who watch me for the first time, my name is Lois, and for my returning subscribers, thank you for coming back and spending some time with your girl Lois. Right, so guys, without further ado, let's crack on to what I've got in store for you today. Now, today I've got in store for you something a little bit different. But as you guys know, I am a candle lover, candle addict, and I didn't realize so many of you felt the same. So, what better way than to bring a video to you all about candle tips and tricks? So, it's going to be in two halves. The first half, I'm going to bring you the seasonal candles that you can actually get in stores or online at the moment that's currently seasonal. And then after that, I'm going to give you some tips and tricks of how to look after and care for your candles. So the first candle I've got for you today is a Yankee Candle Home Inspiration Pumpkin Cider. So there it is. I don't know if you've noticed, guys, but with Home Inspiration, they are the side of Yankee Candle that make your candles more affordable. So, and what I've noticed with this Home Inspiration, they're not as strong as the original Yankees. So if you want something that's not so strong, that's not overpowering, you like a scent that's not too, like a bedroom scent maybe, that's not too strong, Home Inspirations might be something that you might prefer because you'll get not such a strong burn from them. But this is the medium candle. It's a 340-gram candle, and the burn time on this, I think it's 65 to 90 hours burn time on this. So let me just give it a quick sniff and see what it smells like. Yeah, this one for me, guys, you can definitely smell the apple cider. That's more the top strong notes in here. You can also smell the pumpkin spices and also brown sugar. Now, for me personally, guys, this is not one of my favorites, even though I do love pumpkin, but this has got a more of a stronger smell for me personally of the apple cider. Um, I was hoping it would have more of the pumpkin smell, but if that's something that you like, you like the apple cider smell mixed in with the pumpkin, then this will be absolutely fine. But also, on a cold sniff, this is not very strong. So, as I say, if you don't want something that's overpowering, you may want to check out the Home Inspirations line, and that way you may get something that will actually give you a softer scent, should I say. So that's the first one I've got for you. The second one I've got for you is a Yankee Candle, and this is a large jar. And this one is called Ebony and Oak. Now, this is one of my favorites, this one. And this is something that I've got quite a few of these in the wax tarts, in the smaller little votives. And this is one of my favorites to burn every time the autumn comes out. Look at the label, guys. You've got little acorns on there. You've got the pine cones on there. It's lovely. Absolutely lovely. And this one, let me have a quick sniff of it for you. Yeah, the top notes on this, guys, is pine and eucalyptus. You've also got the ebony wood. And it's also got the cedar wood and patchouli. Patchouli, I never can say that word. But that's your top notes in this candle. And for this one, guys, the large one, you can get a burn time of 110 to 150 hours of this candle. Now, this one is absolutely lovely. I like this one. It smells adorable. It's your typical evening scent. Really, really lovely. And with this one, I know that you can get this actually online on Amazon. I forgot to say, actually, for the first one, for that one, that's actually available at Argos. So any of your local Argos store, online or in store, you can pick up that one. And for this one, it's available on Amazon. So you can actually pick up this one online. So yeah, this is Ebony and Oak, and that's your large autumnal candle. God, I tell you, I've been waiting to bring you a candle video for the longest time. I could sit and talk about candles all day long. But without further ado, let's get on with it. Let's see what else we can get on the high street. So guys, I don't know if you've heard about Eco Wicks. If you've watched one of my videos in the past, you've seen that I've featured an Eco Wicks candle. And this is a small jar. And this one is cashmere. Now with the cashmere, it's got the notes of, because I smelled this before. Let's just smell it again. Now with cashmere, it's a very luxurious smell. And this actual particular one, if I show you on the inside, it's actually got the wood crackling wick. So if you haven't got a fire, not many of us haven't got a fire, but you want a log fire effect, this will give you a tiny version in your house, in your bedroom, wherever you want it. Because when you light it, it actually gives the crackling sound of a mini wood fire. And that is what is so adorable about this, you know, especially with the cold months coming on. This is adorable. But the smell, it's got some sort of orange, but it's a very luxurious smell. It's got sandalwood. There's definitely a sandalwood in here. But I can't really tell what's in this one. But I'm telling you guys, if you like cashmere, and I've got another cashmere to show you, and I know what's in that one. Now, if you like cashmere smell, if you ever smelled cashmere, you will love this. It is really nice and it's so affordable. And on this one, your burn time is, let me just see on the bottom. The burn time on here is up to 40 hours burn time on here. And I know that you can get this in Asda. I've seen it in Asda online and also Asda in store. That's where I picked it up. And this was around the £5 mark. So they're quite affordable, guys. And the great thing about it is that if you're not sure about it, then it's always good to get the small jar. And then that way you haven't made a big investment on a large jar and you're not sure if you like this. So this I would definitely recommend. It's Eco Wicks and it's also environmentally friendly as well in terms of the wick and how the wick was sourced. And it's something that I would definitely recommend if you want to try it. Right, the next candle that I've got is a DW candle. Now this one is called Evergreen Forest and it's hand poured. So I bring it forward for you. And this candle you can pick up in Homesense. Now the good thing about Homesense candles, these size, they're quite reasonable. Depending on what size you get, this particular one came in at about £6 for this one. And this one is called Evergreen Forest. And it's, let me just have a quick smell, just to remind myself. Yeah, it's a single wick, guys. And this reminds me of, it's got a very strong forest scent, like autumnal leaves. And definitely like an evergreen fir. It's got an evergreen fir to it. So this is definitely one of your autumnal candles. This is definitely something that is fresh and fragrant. It reminds you of outside, like fresh woods. But it's really, really inviting. And it's also very invigorating. You know when you go on them long walks, not that I go on long walks in the country, I don't, not often. I don't have the time to. But if I could go on long walks, this is the kind of smell that you'd want to smell if you're going like apple picking or something. This is the kind of smell you'd probably smell, you know, if you was going to like a farm and you're going into the woods. Yeah, this is, I don't mean to go on about the forest too much, guys, but I can't think of a better way to describe this, but this is called Evergreen Forest and it's actually hand poured. So all the DW candles, especially these types, they are hand poured, but they are very, very lovely candles. So the last one I've got for you in terms of a large jar is a Yankee Candle again. And this is one of my favorites. My favorite. Now, I have quite a few favorites, but of the season so far, this one, this baby, is my favorite. I would recommend this to anyone. Now, this one is called Warm Cashmere, and it's the large jar, and you're going to get the, I think it's 110, yeah, 110 to 150 burn hours out of this. So you're getting a good time out of this one. And what does it smell like? This is such a calming smell, guys. It's really, you know, it really lifts your senses. I need two hands to hold this one. It's like a calming sandalwood. And there's definitely patchouli and amber in this. This, guys, this one. Now, if you don't take my recommendation for anything, take this one. This is absolutely gorgeous. The kind of candle you would light of an evening when you've come in, you want to relax, you want to chill, and you turn the lights down and you light something like this. This is gorgeous. This would fit anywhere. Light it in the lounge of an evening, or you can light this, you know, if you've got a small jar and you want to put it in the bathroom or the bedroom. This is absolutely gorgeous. Look at the white fluffy sheets on there. You can see the kind of invitation they're setting for you to just cuddle up, be cozy of an evening, and this is your absolutely best accompaniment with a hot chocolate, hot cup of tea on the sofa, blankets round you. Guys, I'm setting the scene for you. This is gorgeous. Now, this one you actually can pick up on Amazon. I think Amazon have got this for around 15 to 20 pounds for this one. But guys, depending on who you purchase it through Amazon, different sellers might do slightly different prices. If you actually go to the Yankee Candle website, it might be a little bit more. But really, do your search around for them. So make sure you know that you're getting a good price point for them. But this is absolutely gorgeous. So guys, those are the candles that I would recommend. My top 5 at the moment for your autumnal months, your winter months, your fall months that are coming through right now. Even though, you know, another favourite of mine is a pumpkin candle, which you normally see me burning, but I haven't got that one today. I thought, you know what, I want to bring you something different, something new. And these ones are my new ones, just so that you get an idea of what's out in this season. So, moving on swiftly, guys, we're going to move across to candle tips and tricks and how to care for your candles once you've bought them. Because guys, if you've made an investment on your candles, you want to take care of them. You want to know that you're getting the best life out of your candles. You also want to know that you're treating them well, that they're behaving, that they're not misfiring in any way, and that they're actually producing the wax the way you want it to be produced, evenly burnt, not sooting and giving you problems. So stay tuned for tips and tricks. So the first thing I would say to you is when you have a candle, the first thing you do is look at the wick and also make sure the wick is not too high. Now, if I've got a candle that I can show you, I've got a little votive here, just a tiny one. And this one is actually vanilla. So what I actually do sometimes with my little votives, I will burn them alongside a large candle if you want to infuse the scents. But normally when you get like a votive, you'll get it, let's take that plastic off. So when you get a votive, your wick could be that long. And that is too long a wick. Now, I don't know if that's 2 inches or so. Well, 1 inch, I don't really know how long that is. But it's too long to burn your candles. It's too long for your flame. So what you want to do is make sure you trim the wick to 1/4 inch. So it's 1/4 inch that should be, and we're talking about going down to about that size down there. So literally where my finger is pressed on here like that, and where my nail reaches the wick, that's what you call roughly 1/4 inch. That's how low your wick should be. Your wick should never be too high, because that's when you're going to cause the candle to misbehave. You're also going to find that you may the candle may start sooting as well, and also what you'll find, it will be smoking because there's too much wick, and then it eventually just starts to smoke. And also when it's too high, the candle will pool itself, and the word for pooling is when it actually goes into a dip. So the liquid, the wax, actually goes into a dip, and that's what you call a pool. So always make sure you trim your wicks to 1/4 inch. One thing you must make sure as well, guys, do not overcut your wick. If you cut your wick down too low, what you will find is that your actual wick will drown. Because remember, the lower the wick, then the closer the flame is to the actual wax. What you'll find then is that as it begins to melt, the actual wick will drown. So it will become underneath the liquid and it will just drown and it will just go out. what you'll find is that you may not be able to recover the candle, or what you have to do is there's little tips and tricks you can do to recover it. But I'll probably cover that in a different video. But one way you could do is use a cotton wool and dab around it to sort of give it some life, but never go low, because what you could always do is end up drowning your wick and really just, messing with the candle, really, to be honest with you. So always remember to cut your wick to 1/4 of an inch. Now, in terms of accessories and what you use for your candles, what do you light your candles with? So I've got a whole series of things here, guys, that you can light your candles with. You can light them with matches. Or you can light them with one of my favorite gadgets, which is a rechargeable lighter. That's what I use. Or some people, they want to use a lighter, or they use a candle lighter. Now, with a candle lighter, they're rechargeable, and that is actually with a flame. With this, it's not a great idea to light your candles, because if you're lighting a deep candle and you're going like that, there's more of a likelihood you'll burn your finger once the flame. So can you imagine you turning the flame that way and then it will burn your finger? So I don't recommend these to light candles. With this one, it's a naked flame. If that's what you need to use, that's fair enough. This is actually my personal favorite because there is no flame on this. And let me just show you how it works. So with this, it's rechargeable. So you've got the rechargeable element at the side where you plug it in. You switch it on, and then what you'll see, hold on, have I switched it on? Yeah. What you'll see is the lights at the bottom and it's like electronic charge going across the top, but there is no flame here, guys. And this to me is a safe way to light your candles. It's also one of my favorite ways. Or you can just use good old fashioned matches, but it's better if you get long matches, because that way you're not actually going to have the flame anywhere near your fingers to burn your fingers. So that's the way to light your candles. Now, in terms of also caring your candles, you've got different things to care your candles. So, for example, as I was saying about cutting your wick before, you have these type of scissors that you can use to cut your wicks. And this is the Yankee Candle Wick Cutter. And what is great for this kind of cutter, if I show you, now with Yankee candles, they tend to be, quite deep. So if, say, for example, you've got a pillar jar, like something like this, I'll take the top off. And you can actually go straight into the jar, all the way down to actually cut. So you see, the length of it, you can actually cut your wick, and it's not a problem. Try cutting that with a pair of scissors. It's not going to work. And also, because of the way that they're designed, you will actually get the 1/4 of an inch. So that would sit on top of your wick. By the time it cuts up there, you've got your 1/4 of an inch, so you don't have to be measuring it. It's already measured for you. So I would say it's great to get one of those, or another great thing to use is a cuticle scissors, believe it or not. Now, these are great. Now, if I just use that candle that I was showing you before, with a cuticle scissors, you can simply just cut like that. If I hold it straight, hold on. If I hold it there, you can simply snip, and then you've got your 1/4 of an inch, and they're really easy to use, especially if you've got a small candle like this, or if you've got another type of candle like, let's just say the Eco Wicks. You can, not this one particularly, but just say something this size. You can easily get in like that, and then you can cut your candle, not a problem. But if you've got your deep pillar jars, you are going to need something like the Yankee Candle long type of scissors to cut them. Or if you want to use a pair of ordinary scissors, you can. If you feel confident to use them, then why not? But, if you want to get the best care, you're best to use either the cuticle scissors or the wick cutter, because if you cut blunt and you fray them, you may actually end up creating what is called like a mushroom top. Now, mushroom top, you're thinking, what's a mushroom top? This is all candle speak, guys. But I've got a candle here that's got a mushroom top already. So let me give you an example. Now, that's a small jar that I've got. And if you see in on the top of it, and I'll show it like that if you can see it that way, that's what you call a mushroom top. So it's at the top of your candle when it turns into like the top of a mushroom and it looks all bunchy. That's what will happen when you actually cut your candle wick in the wrong way, or you haven't burnt your candle long enough and then it's left with a sharp sort of top. So cut it off, guys, because mushroom tops can cause explosions. It can actually affect the burn of your candle and how the candle actually operates. So please, if you get these, cut them off. Always use something that's not blunt, something that's quite strong and will give you a sharp cut. Now, the other thing in terms of candle care, if you want to put your candles out, is to use a candle snuffer. And this is quite simple. You've got your candle. Let me get another one. So let's use this one for an example. So you've got your candle, you take it along and you just snuff it out like that, and then it's all over. Plain and simple, you snuff your candle out, and that's another way to do it. So the next tip I've got for you is all about your burn time. Now, when you've lit your candle, you've trimmed the wick, and you're going to light your candle, and you're going to relax and light it. So, in terms of a large jar should be lit for about 4 hours. Now, it really depends on the type of candle you buy. So if I go back to the candles that I've got here, for example, now on a large jar, like say for example a Yankee, I can burn this Yankee for 6 hours, up to 6 hours. There's not a problem. The reason why is because the wick in a Yankee candle is very thick. The wick is thick and also the glass is very thick, and when it burns down, it gives it time to pull across. With a large jar like this, you should never burn it for any less than 3 hours. Now, the reason why we say this is because if you let it burn for any less than 3 hours, you'll find that it won't pull properly. And when I say pull, it means the liquid goes from one side of the jar to the other. It will not pull. What you'll find is that it will dip in the middle and then the candle will misbehave. One thing you've got to remember is that a candle has memory. Now that sounds strange what I'm saying to you, but a candle has a memory. The candle will only remember and behave according to the last time you lit it. So if you haven't lit the candle for long enough, all it's going to do when you go back to relight it is going to pick up where it left off. So if you've burnt it badly in the first place, what do you think is going to happen, guys? It's going to remember what the last time was when you lit it and go back and perform the same way. If you burnt it for the time allotted that you should burn the size of the candle for, you should have then created that level of wax, that pool of wax across, and then it will actually set in that straight level across, and you haven't interfered with the burning of the candle. If you don't give it enough time, things can happen, and I'll show you an example of that. So in terms of like a medium jar, such as a jar like this, again, you should burn this for at least 2 to 3 hours. So you get an even pull across it as well. Now, when it comes to candles outside of Yankee, I would say to burn them not more than 3.5 hours to 4 in total. When I say in total, some candles like Yankee, as I say, you can probably burn them for 4, 5, 6 hours. Keep an eye on them, of course. Don't leave them unattended. But then you can get a good burn, and I've never had any problems. I mean, I'm talking from my experience. I've never had any problems with them. But when it comes to your other candles, such as, I don't know, your DWs or your Eco Wicks, I wouldn't burn these for more than 4 hours at a time. If you want to burn it for a good length of time, I would put it out after 4 hours. Give it time to set and then relight your candle. But never continually burn candles like these, because what can happen is that you can then make the candle default. So when you burn it for too long, what you'll find is that the wick itself will get longer and longer in a pool of liquid. You might find that the actual wick then starts to tilt to the side, so it might burn towards the actual outer rim, the glass container. Now, if it happens, that could actually shatter your candles. I'm not trying to scaremonger you guys. I'm just telling you what can happen if you overburn your candles for any length of time. That's why sometimes people may prefer to go with Yankee, because you're getting the good solid jars, which are quite tough. And, you know, as I say, people can burn these for 5 hours, 6 hours, and they're quite all right. As I say, you must keep an eye on your candles though, no matter what you do. But when you go with smaller candles such as these, never go for more than 4 hours at a time. That's just safety candle care 101, guys. So, in terms of like candles such as votives like these, I mean, votives like these, they will give you, I think it's 25 to 40 hours burn time. But if you're going to buy a votive, now one thing I'd say about the votives, that if you're not sure about buying a big one, buy a votive. Try them out, see what they like. Do you get on with them? Do you like the smell? But you must always burn them in a votive holder. Now, this is an example of one. And the reason why you must burn it in a votive holder, because once you take the plastic off, there is nothing to actually hold the candle together. It will just collapse. You burn it in an upright jar like this. Then what it'll do, it'll burn down slowly and it will be contained. So it's almost like wearing some shapewear. It keeps you in, do you know what I mean? So it's the same thing like this. It will keep the candle together. It will keep it safe. Again, with these candles, what I do like about these, though, if you know you're not going to be able to commit to burning for 3 hours and you want maybe a half an hour burn or an hour burn, these are the ways to go. Burn this for an hour. They'll be fine. They should pull right across and you shouldn't get too much problems with a candle of this size. So, in terms of where do you put your candles, never put your candles in a draft. Never, 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 guys. Or never put them near air conditioning or put them near a fan or put them anywhere where you can compromise the burn. Because what you may find is that a flame starts to dance. So when you see a flame dancing around, flickering around, something is not going right with this candle. The candle's starting to misbehave. So then it either means that your wick is too long, so therefore it's dancing, but also that the major dancing is because it's been compromised. So that means that some sort of draft is coming in from somewhere, or you're placing it in a drafty place. Always place your candle in a draft-free area and make sure that you put it on some surface that, you know, it actually in a warm area where it can just do its thing quietly and burn in the corner. Now, the thing is, another thing I want to show you is that if you kind of live in a place where it's pretty drafty, you can get things such as like a candle holder, a candle topper. So what this does, so if I use, for example, my warm cashmere, and this is the Yankee Candle cover, and what you can do, you put it on the top of your candle like that, and then what it does, it actually protects your candle from the draft. So it's almost like it's a little shield, and it shields the candle and keeps the flame together. So that's one way of burning your candle down in a very straight way, is that if you protect it with a candle cover like this, then that way it shouldn't be hit by the draft. That's not to say it's going to totally exclude the draft, but this is the best way to protect the candle all round, because it's all round even burning that you should get from using a candle cover. So these you can get on the Yankee website, or you can get them on Amazon, or you can get them in store. So these are all different prices depending on the type you get and the style and the colour. But you can get them in silver, you can get them in bronze, you can get them in a rose gold. So they've got all different colours, all different types. Just pick whatever is best for your taste. Let's talk about putting your candles out. Now, there's many ways you can put a candle out. You can get a candle and you can say, okay, let's go back to this candle again, just to give you an example. So your candle's burning. You can either blow it out, but then what you're going to find is a whole load of smoke in the house. Now, that's fine if that's up to you. If you don't mind a lot of smoke, then that's one way of putting candles out. The other way of putting a candle out is to actually put the lid on top and replace it like that. Now, the thing is, when you put the lid on top, it will actually stop oxygen from going to the flame, and that's what puts out your flame. The only thing about this, which I'm not very keen on, is that you're trapping all the burn smell inside the candle. If you've got a lot of liquids wax there, then the smell may just go back into that liquid wax. And what you may find, if you've got light coloured candles, that smoke may also discolour the candle. So then what you find that when it gets firm, you'll see the layer of wax is going to form a different colour to what your original wax is down there. So I'm not really a fan of putting a lid on top of it, although some people are quite fine with it, haven't got a problem, or some people may do that, release the smoke and then cover it back again. So it depends on how you like to do it. The other way is to use what I talked about before, and that's a candle snuffer. So with a candle snuffer, you find you just, oh, can't get my fingers, guys. What you do, you find that you got the naked flame, you just put the candle out like that, and then it's snuffed out. Very clean. And the great thing about it, when you snuff it out, there's not bits that are going to fall in the candle or get lodged in there. Because one thing you should do, guys, never let the soot bits go into your candle. That, again, can affect the performance of your candle. That's why it's good to put candles out in the proper way. Another way you can put your candles out, if you've got a tweezer or if you've got a candlestick dipper, which basically all it is a long piece of metal and it's like that, it's just like an L. That's all it is. And what you could actually do is you take the candle, so you've got your tweezer. This is like a little hack way of doing it. You take your tweezer and you bend. So see, you bend. So I've done it properly, right? So again, I'll start again. So you take the tweezer, you take the wick and you bend it into the wax and then straighten it back up. That will put your candle out. No smoke, no, no, no nothing. That is a way to do it. Now, what you must do though, you must straighten the wick back up. You must straighten it back up, because what you don't want to do is bend the wick over, it stays there and solidifies in the wax, and then when you go back to light your candle, you can't find your wick. So it depends how you want to put your candle out, but there are safe ways of doing it. And as I said, you can use a candle snuffer or blow it out. But if you want to preserve your candle and not have bits of soot fall off in it, or for it to get smoke filled, then snuffer is a good way, or to actually dip the wick into the wax and then straighten it back up. So that's about putting your candles out. Right, now, the final thing, guys. Now, sometimes we can troubleshoot with our candles, and I've got a perfect one to show you of troubleshooting. Now, oh, this is a very large jar candle that I've got, and it's one of my favourites. Although the last time I burnt it, I burnt it deliberately like this for you, so I'd have an example to show you of troubleshooting. So I burnt it for a very short time, kept burning it, putting it out, burning it, putting it out, burning it. So I really was quite naughty with this candle. But what I wanted to do is to give you an example of when your candle is misbehaving, this is what can happen. Now, this is what I'm talking about when you don't burn your candle long enough and then it doesn't go to the side. So if I look at it that way, you'll see that there's a lot of wax around the sides. And if you see in the middle where it's a 3-wick candle and it's tried to burn down, but it hasn't burnt across and pulled to the side. Now, this can happen and you're going to think, how do I recover a candle like this? Well, with a candle like this, you can either get some sort of lid to cover it, but it's very rare to find the big lids for big candles. You can probably do it for the small one like I've showed you already, but in terms of getting a large candle like this and trying to fix it, I'll show you a little hack. So, all you need is some foil, some ordinary kitchen foil, oven foil, and that's all you need. So you take off a strip of foil, quite long, and as the length, you take it off to the length of your candle. So this is your candle, and you take your foil and you wrap it around the top of the candle. Now I'm going to wrap it down here. I don't know if you can see it. And ta-da! That's what you do, guys. You wrap some foil around the top of the candle. You then light the candle, but also, let me put it on here. Make sure you kind of bend it in like that. And even if you want to secure it, put a bit of sellotape here at the edge so it secures it, so it doesn't fall down. Bend these inwards like that. So what you're really creating is sort of like a tent effect. Like keeping it warm, like a turkey. So bend it all in like that. So it should end up looking like that. Yeah, that's how it should end up looking. And you light your candle, you leave it for about an hour or two, and then what should happen is that it should pull around nicely and come back to how it should be. And that's how you get rid of your edges. Now I would keep this if I were you, because if your candle's misbehaved once before, and there could be many reasons it's misbehaved, it might even be that you've burnt the candle exactly as it should, you've followed the manufacturer's instructions, and it still hasn't behaved itself. It could be that the actual wicks that are being used in the candle are too small. Now these are the things, guys. Oftentimes we don't realise it, but there are so many different sizes of wicks. And personally for me, if I looked at this candle and I saw it, I can tell you the wicks are too small. But because I like the look of the candle, I really, really wanted it. And, you know, I just wanted it for, it was a dinner I was having and I wanted something lovely on the table. But I can see now that the wicks are actually too small. So this candle is going to probably suffer every time I use it because that's the way it is. So what I would say, to resurrect it, to fix it, all you have to do is put the foil around it and then, you know, light it for a couple of hours, give it that time for like an incubation, and it will all come back to normal. So don't say I don't give you any tips and tricks, guys. And the last tip I would give you for any candles that you've got, if you've got any delicate surfaces or anywhere that you're going to place your candle, always use the lid, if you can, as a barrier. And for example, put it down like that and then put it onto your surface, and that way your surface will not get damaged or tainted because if the candle gets too warm. I mean, obviously when the candle is high up, it's fine, but once the candle is burning towards the bottom, you don't want to scorch, you know, if you've got delicate furniture that you've put the candle on. So that's one little tip to remember. Use the lid if possible. You know, not all lids, because like the Yankee Candle, you can't use those lids. But if you've got a flat lid like this, then use it to put your candles on. So guys, I hope that was helpful for you. If you guys would like to see more candle care tips and tricks, then put a comment down below. Let me know if you liked the video, if it was handy, if it was useful. I know I really enjoyed doing it because, guys, I love candles. I could talk about candles all day. If there's something you want to see regularly, then I'm more than happy to do more videos for you guys. So just let me know something that you like. But guys, thank you for staying with me to the end. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like and press the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed already. And also don't forget to share the video and press the like button. So guys, whatever you're doing, guys, have an absolutely awesome week. Until I see you next time on another video. So take care, guys. Have a blessed one. See you later. Bye.